is
Right. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we are live now. So welcome everyone to our live stream on Twitch. So we just wait a couple of minutes for people to join. We already have some people already in the room, so that's great. So joining me today, Jos Torkel, who is the lead on our Hazelcast Asia clients. Welcome, Jos. It's great to have you on a live stream on Twitch. So, you know, our community users are always looking forward to know more about the Hazelcast clients. So welcome to live stream. Perhaps we can start by, you know, a little bit description about your background experience and how did you come to know about Hazelcast?
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be in this broadcast. So we love to get in touch with our community. So it's a very nice way of doing that. So I work at Hazelcast as a tech lead in the APIs team, and I'm responsible for our Go, Python, and Node.js clients. We call them Agile clients, so hence the title of this session. I'm also the main developer of the Go client. I live in Turkey, in a southern city called Gaziantep. I've been programming since my childhood, since my mother bought me a Commodore 64. I'm sure some of you already know about it. It used to be a very popular 8-bit home computer. I still own a Commodore 64, but sadly I don't have any time to code on it. For more than 15 years, I worked as a software engineer, mostly backend roles. But I enjoy every aspect of programming, from IoT to front-end databases. Probably there's not many areas that I didn't try my hands on. A few years ago, I had the chance to found my own company. But sadly things didn't go as I desired. And about 2 years ago, in New Year's Eve, I saw a Hazelcast ad on Stack Overflow for a senior Python engineer. I already was doing some stuff with the Vertex framework. Maybe some of you know it. It's an async Java framework. And Hazelcast is a default clustering provider for Vertex. And it was very cool to see an ad from a company that I already use. I investigated a bit about Hazelcast, and it looked like a company I would work for. I applied to the job, and I passed interviews, and here I am.
Yeah, that's great to hear about your story. I think we can I think we can proceed to a relevant question here, because I know some community users are actively involved, whether, you know, contributions or even are interested in joining Hazelcast. So are you involved in the hiring process? And if so, what advice would you give for our community users if they are interested in joining Hazelcast?
Yes, I take a role in the hiring process for Agile clients. So we have a few stages in the hiring process. During this process, we try to know more about you, your technical merits, and whether you will be a good fit for our team. So for us, being a team player is very important, alongside, of course, your technical competency. One thing I look for during the interviews is the enthusiasm of the candidate. So being familiar with Hazelcast and our client libraries, although not required, I think it's a big plus.
Mhm. So what best advice would you give for someone who is interested in joining about maybe the interview or the process?
Uh, so it depends on, of course, the client you apply, but generally concurrency is a big thing for Hazelcast, and our clients are thin clients, so it does lots of things behind the scenes. Yeah, it really helps to get familiar with the concurrency and distributed program issues, but uh, you don't need to be for some cases you don't need to be a hardcore distributed distributed programmer.
Mhm. And we
Like
also have the Hazelcast Heroes program. Could you tell us a little bit more about this program?
yeah, so like I mentioned, we love community interaction and involvement, and we are very open to contributors. Hazelcast Heroes is an honorary program where we recognize top contributors to the Hazelcast ecosystem. So you can contribute new features to our client libraries. You can fix bugs or help others in the community. And depending on the size and frequency of your contributions, you may be eligible to be a Hazelcast Hero.
I think I lost the audio here. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay, so how the client's libraries are useful? What are they needed for?
So Hazelcast server is like the engine of a car. It's the most important component of the car. It's what makes a car a car. But you still need the wheels if you want to go somewhere with the car. So our client libraries are like the wheels of a car. With, with Hazelcast, you have a very powerful data storage and compute platform. But to make it useful for an application, you still need the client libraries to unlock its powers. Using our client libraries, you can run SQL queries, cache a value to a map, or publish some event to a topic, and lots more using your favorite language. Our Agile clients, being Agile, are the fastest way to start developing for Hazelcast.
For people who are listening now, what programming languages are we talking about?
So uh, we call Go, Python, and Node.js clients Agile clients. Yeah, and we all our other clients, Java, C++, and C# are our enterprise clients.
Mhm. So what are some use cases for Hazelcast clients libraries?
So Hazelcast is a very strong player in the developing for developing caching solutions traditionally. So many of our users also use our client libraries for caching. Hazelcast has a feature called near cache, which enables the user to utilize a distributed map just like a local one with very small latencies. So you just need to change some configuration to enable near cache. No need to touch other parts of your code. So I would strongly suggest our users to give it a try. It's a very useful feature. And all of our Agile clients support that. Go, Python, and Node.js are probably three of the most popular choices for developing microservices. So unsurprisingly, our users also use our clients for that. With the introduction of Hazelcast Platform and SQL support, a new breed of use cases were unlocked for Hazelcast, such as streaming and other real-time use cases. You can create a jet pipeline with a Kafka source and a map sync. and query the data using SQL with one of the client libraries. And also Python is the most popular language for AI ML practitioners. So we are adding more features to our Python client to support those use cases, such as better interoperability with Pandas, Jupyter Notebook, and machine learning platforms. I can say the Go client is used lots internally, like our Hazelcast Platform Kubernetes operator and Hazelcast CLC, a new project from us, also use the Go client internally.
Yeah, that's great. I'm quite excited about the machine learning and AI integration. I think this is useful not only for community users, but also for data science and engineers, because after all, like what I really like about the clients are the useful interface and easy to use. So also you mentioned Hazelcast support SQL. So how can a developer access it?
Yep. So SQL is a big feature of Hazelcast, and all of our Agile clients support executing SQL queries against the Hazelcast cluster. So we provide a Hazelcast specific API to execute those SQL queries, but our Go and Python developers also support SQL in a standard way. So Go client, for example, has a database SQL interface in its standard library. We have a driver in Go client that implements that interface. So you can immediately start writing SQL-enabled applications if you are familiar with the interface. Likewise, Python has a DB API interface as a standard. And soon we will be releasing our Python client with DB API driver. And yeah, you will be able to send Hazelcast queries just like another DB API compatible driver. Sadly, Node.js doesn't have a standard interface for executing SQL queries, but it should be very straightforward to adopt Node.js client SQL API for a particular framework.
So just to clarify what we talk about the SQL, we are talking about the JET processing, right? So we should be able to access the JET stream processors from the SQL.
Yeah, so not, I mean, JET, of course, you can access JET streams, but also we usually talk about map data structure, so you can query with SQL. Yeah, you can use our libraries to execute any SQL query that Hazelcast supports.
Mm-hmm. That's great to hear. I think also recently we launched the new cloud solution, Viridian Serverless, which I'm also excited about. And I think the community start to use the Hazelcast Viridian Serverless, which is great. So can I use the Hazelcast Agile client libraries with it?
Yes, of course. So all of our client libraries fully support Viridian Serverless. With Viridian, you can launch a cluster in seconds. Then you can download the provided code sample for the client library of your choice from the Viridian control panel and connect to Viridian serverless immediately. So the code samples contain examples for running SQL queries and using maps. I just want to remind people that you can create and run a 3-node cluster, a 3-node Viridian cluster with 2 GB of storage for free without any time limitations.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I just want to remind everyone, if you have any question for us, feel free to leave it in the chat box here. So I'm just looking at the chat box if anyone has any question. So yeah, I mean, up to this point, that's great to hear about the Agile clients and what it can be done using the clients. But what is the best way to start using Hazelcast clients?
So as I mentioned, you can just launch a Reading serverless cluster and download a sample client code. And I think that's the fastest way to start using our Hazelcast clients. But our client libraries work very well with the dedicated Hazelcast instance or Hazelcast Docker image. And our clients are published to the standard package repositories or the corresponding language or runtime. Like Node.js client is published on npm. You can just do npm install Hazelcast client. Our Go client uses Go modules, so you just do go get github.com Hazelcast Go client. And Hazelcast Python client is published on PyPy, so any package manager that can use PyPy, like go.pip, will be able to install our Python client as a dependency. So Conda is a very popular package manager for Python, and especially for data scientists. Soon we will be publishing our Python client to the Conda Forge as well.
So this is like leads up to the recent developments. So we launched, or we announced actually Hazelcast 5.2 this week. So what are the recent developments and plans about the client libraries?
So regarding the client libraries, the biggest feature of Hazelcast 5.2 was compact serialization. So with this release, compact serialization is out of beta and it's generally available. This new serialization format has some performance improvements and it supports schema evolution. Although our Agile client libraries will have full support of compact serialization, the GA version, in their next minor releases. So Python and Node.js clients already support compact serialization, but since before 5.2 compact serialization was beta, it's not compatible. 5.1 compact serialization and 5.2 compact serialization are not compatible. But yeah, we will release 5.2 compatible Python, Node.js, and Go clients. Meanwhile, we have a new project called Hazelcast CLC. So it's a command line tool to access Hazelcast and use its features. You can do lots of things with it. Many of the things you can do with a client library, but from the command line. It also has a few more unique features, but currently it's not generally available. Hopefully, we can talk about it in a dedicated broadcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually work with the command line. I think it's a useful feature to have. So if the community would like to contribute to the development of the clients, after all, it's the open source project. So what is the best way, or how can the community contribute the development of the clients?
Like you mentioned, all of our projects are open source. They are fully developed publicly, and we use GitHub for development. So if you have encounter a bug with any of our clients, please file a bug, and we will fix that as soon as possible. But also, you can send a pull request too to fix that bug. We will review your code and merge it to our repository. We have instructions for building and testing our clients in the corresponding README documents for all our clients. We also received quite a few feature contributions as well. So the way it works is, as a user, you may need some feature missing from one of our client libraries. So these missing features will eventually be implemented by us, but if you don't want to wait, you can implement that feature and send us a pull request. We have an internal process for designing the features, especially the public APIs are very important for us. So it would be great if you could contact us on GitHub or Hazelcast community Slack before you start to work on the feature. So once you contact us about the feature you want to implement, we will guide you from that point onwards. Also, not all contributions will be as big as a feature. You can also send the PR for any of the issues you see on our issue tracker. We try to take the issues which can be done for for people who just started contributing to Hazelcast. Like we take them with good first issue, so they could be better issues for you to start contributing.
Yeah, so for those who are new, I think yes, the end of this broadcast will share some links. So just stick around if you would like to know more about these links. So the community contribution link is linked to the Hazelcast Heroes program. Is that correct?
Right. So depending on your contribution, the size and frequency of your contributions, you may be eligible to be a Hazelcast hero. Like I said, this is an honorary recognition. So, but yeah, just start contributing, and hopefully you'll be a Hazelcast hero.
Yeah, just to also add, our Slack community is very active. So if anyone has any question and would like to get the answer, we will share the Slack community link soon. So what would you recommend to developers who wants to learn how to use Hazelcast client libraries? Are there any guides or tutorials to follow, or resources?
Yeah, so all of our client libraries, like I said, has readmes, and they were designed to provide a 5-minute quick start. So the readmes contain all the necessary pointers, but I just want to quickly go over some of them. First of all, we host Hazelcast documentation at docs.hazelcast.com. It contains tutorials, documentation, and more about Hazelcast platform and other products of Hazelcast. The information there is invaluable to learn about features of the Hazelcast platform, Hazelcast reading serverless, and the best practices to use them. Also, all of our clients contain extensive documentation about their features, how to configure them, what methods you can use. The documentation for the Node.js client is hosted on GitHub. But for Python developers, read the docs.io is very popular, so we host the Python client documentation there. Likewise, most Go developers expect the documentation to be at pkg.go.dev. So we host our Go client documentation on that site. It's an official documentation site for all Go projects. Also, whenever we add any feature to our clients, we also add corresponding code samples. So because of that, we have lots of code samples in our client repositories. They will help you to use a feature immediately. As a developer, you may consider subscribing to our Google group. You can post your question there, and one of developers of Hazelcast will answer those questions. And last but not least, Hazelcast community Slack is a great place that gathers Hazelcast enthusiasts and past and present Hazelcast employees. So together with other Hazelcast products, we have dedicated channels for all of our clients' libraries. It's a very interactive environment, yeah, like you mentioned. So when you ask a question, it is answered very quickly. But yeah, don't just post questions. You can just say hi. We love to hear from the community. We love to get your feedback. And we want to know more about what you work on. How do you use Hazelcast? How do you use our client libraries? So yeah, please get in touch at Slack.
Yeah, I think this last point is very important. So the Slack community is not only for questions, but also to get to know how the community are using Hazelcast and what feature they're looking for. And if they, looking for a new features, what kind of the new features. So I understand you have some links to share so everyone knows what we're talking about essentially. So would you like to share what you want? Oh.
Okay, yeah, I can share it. Okay. Is it? Is it? Do you see my screen?
I see the PowerPoint, yes.
Okay. So these are just the pointers I talked about, like the Hazelcast documentation, the community Slack. You also see the QR code for community Slack if you are using your phone. The Google Groups link, and these are GitHub links for our client libraries. All the necessary information I've talked about, all the pointers are also there. So yeah, you can start using it. This one's better, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is great. So essentially, like you also mentioned, we have a couple of links here. So we have the community Slack. This is where you can ask question. We have documentation, so docs.hazelcast.com. If you would like to know more how clients work, or you would like to have some links as well for it. And also, like we have the GitHub repositories here. So we have the Go client, Python, and Node.js. So feel free to download any client and let us know how it works. And with that being said, anything else you would like to add?
Well, I mentioned this a few times, but it's not enough. We like get in touch with our community. So if you use one of our projects, please give a star. Please share what you do with our projects. Just say hi in the Hazelcast community Slack. And if you have time and if you need some feature or a bug fixed, don't hesitate to send a PR. And yeah, hopefully we will make these clients better together.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I'd like to thank you very much for your contribution to our clients, first of all, and to have you here. I know you're busy, so thanks very much. And we look forward to, hear a little bit more about the command line. So that's also another thing that we will have it at some point here on the Twitch stream, a live stream. So with that being said, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today, and we'll join you again next week for a new broadcast. Thanks, Eos. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.